always feel like my face
Oh.
is distorted or like it's.
Your face looks great. All
I'm a black
right.
girl.
I love it. I love it. All right, we are live. We are live and direct. What's up, everybody? This is Mia Hall. I am your host of Brown Girls Glow Live. I am super excited to have my girl, it's your girl, Latoya Jackson here, from founder of Village Athlete and so much more. Latoya, welcome in.
Thank you for having me, baby. This is so exciting.
Of course, of course. Happy that you are here, man. So, before I even read her bio, I just want to say shout out to Ashley Blackwood Sumbry, right? I'm like, wait, let me not forget the Mary, you know what I mean? But yeah, she introduced me to Latoya years ago. That was 2007, so 9 years ago, when I was moving to LA and I didn't have a job. I didn't know what I was gonna do. I barely had a place to stay, but yeah, Latoya, she took me to church. She, you know what I mean. She just held it down, man. Gave me rides and let me do my podcast at a homegirl's place, man. Just like so many times, man. Latoya, was just there when I needed her. So shout out to her. Salute to
Thank
Latoya, but.
you, Ashley, for the connection for sure.
Yes, yes, and shout out to Ashley for the connect. So, Latoya Jackson is a sports marketing and partnerships leader with over a decade of experience working at the intersection of athletes, brands, and community. She's had roles with the New York Knicks, LA Clippers, and I Am Sports and Entertainment, where she's led campaigns, partnerships, and experiences that connect sports to culture in a meaningful way. Latoya is also the founder of Village Athlete, a global movement focused on advancing play equity by building safe, accessible spaces for children to play in villages across Africa. She holds a master's degree in sports management, and international developments from New York University, and a BA in social welfare from the University of California, Berkeley. She's passionate about sports as a vehicle for opportunity, connection, and impact. Outside of work, Latoya enjoys spending time with her daughter, Jersey, the cutest little girl in the world, and exploring the outdoor and smartest, you know what I'm saying? We want
Don't forget
to
that.
exploring the outdoors and traveling the world. Y'all, welcome my girl, Latoya.
Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, I gotta
Yes.
pay you for that intro. That was awesome. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you
Of
for having
course,
me.
of course. So, man, so I know I read your bio, you know what I mean? But, I want to know as I really started this show for really high school girls. My book, Glow Girl, Empowering Girls to Grow, Lead, which we're talking about leadership, legacy, and global impact today, but overcome and win. So I just want to know, who was Latoya as a teenager, right? Who were you at 16? And you could kind of say, how that foundation kind of led to where you were today.
Yes. Great. Who was Latoya at 16? That was so long ago. Um, but I was an athlete. I grew up an athlete. With that, when you find success in sports, you kind of get a little cocky, I would say. You grow your confidence. Let's call it confidence. And so I was someone who couldn't be stopped.
Mm,
Um, I grew up playing basketball, softball, and volleyball. Found a lot of success in basketball. And I always tell people, I wasn't always the smartest in the classroom, but I always did the best because I was super competitive and I
mm.
believed in myself. And I attribute all that to playing sports and finding success in sports. So, 16-year-old Latoya was someone who was unstoppable, and I saw no barriers. You said no, and I worked around it until I got a
Mm.
yes. And I'm literally in my big age now, trying to tap into that energy again. Um, but yeah, that was me.
I love it. I love it. And that's so exciting. So in high school you were playing basketball, volleyball, softball. I love that. I was a basketball, player myself. I mean, I was competitive, but I don't know if it really got
You
me
went to
anywhere.
Harvard. You went to Harvard.
Listen, but but the skills on the court, I don't know. Off the court, that's why we're here talking right now. But yeah, so I love the similarities that we have. And so your high school experience, right?
Mhm.
Who was somebody that you feel like helped you to even, believe in yourself in high school? Like, was there mentors or people that you looked up to? Like, who do you feel like was your biggest driver in your high school experience?
Yeah, plenty of mentors beyond, obviously my mother, who was always the constant support and encouraging me along the way. I would say Miss Hawk. She was my econ teacher in high school, and she was non-traditional in the sense that everything we had done up until that point. So I took her class. It was like read a chapter, answer the 5 questions, submit your paper, and they'll grade you. Miss Hawk wasn't about that. She taught. I felt like she kind of opened my mind to like exploring beyond the textbook. Asking like our opinions on things, not what we read. And answering questions. So she opened up a whole new world for me. She taught me to actually think beyond textbook,
Mm,
um, and to question systems and authority. And rest in peace, man. I was looking for her. I hadn't
mm.
been in conversation with her for a long time, but I found out recently she passed. But man, she was the best teacher I've ever encountered. And she gave her students autonomy. Like, if you were feeling like you just didn't want to do the work today, she would say, "Look, I got a back room. Go take some time." You know what I mean? And to me,
Wow.
and this is in the early, like late 90s, you know what I mean? Early 2000s. It was like that wasn't the case. We were told to follow instructions. And like I said, read a chapter, answer the questions, but no one really asked our opinions. And so she was my ninth grade teacher, and she totally broke that barrier for me. And so I went on just like, why are we doing this? Questioning things, not just kind of taking things for what it was. And yeah, Miss Hawk. Shout out to Miss Hawk. But beyond her, I would say, all my coaches.
Mm.
Um, I played AAU basketball, and that coach was super dedicated because I remember him telling me he wasn't getting paid for this. I think one time at practice, and he was like, "Do you guys know I'm here? I'm not getting paid. I'm here because I want to be here." And I was like, "Wow, you actually want to be here with us badass kids who are learning this sport." But he was awesome, just showing me like you can commit to something. It's not always about money, like that. That would follow, but he had a passion about sports, and especially girls in sports, and so he was a great influence for me. But I feel like I've always speaking of Ashley, I hope she hears this. But Ashley I still call her my mentor, man. I looked up to her so much. At
Oh.
and so I'm grateful that she connected us. But she was always beyond her years, and so I attach to people. If I like something about someone, I'm like, I need you to teach me. How did you get there? What's your path? I'm always curious and always wanting to learn, and so um, I admire people who kind of break barriers.
I love that. I love that. So how did you, well, speaking of Ashley, let's just, let's pump her up. How did you and Ashley meet initially? Was it when you were at the Knicks?
Yeah, at the Knicks. Again, she had been there for a few years. I was just making this was my first real job, and she kind of guided me. There wasn't too many black women in the sport, and so um, I was like a leash to her. I just took to her, and she kind of guided me and showed me like appropriate behavior and so forth. So. And then it went beyond that. Like after she left the Knicks, I left the Knicks. She continued to like stay in touch and just as opportunities arise, she would hit me about them, and so super shout out to Miss Ashley.
To Miss Ashley. I love that. Okay, and I definitely want to put a pin in that because I know you have a great story of how you started with the Knicks, but I know that came from grad school, but I just want to, for any, high school girls watching, like what made you choose Berkeley, you know what I mean? And then, just a little bit about that experience from high school to transitioning to UC Berkeley.
Yeah, so honestly, I was the first in my family to go to college, so I didn't really
Wow.
um, anyone within my immediate family, to kind of guide me through this. Again, my mom has always been a staple, but she didn't know much about going to college, and so um, I remember I got pulled out of class. I think I was like in 10th grade. And the college counselor was like, "Hey, Latoya, what's your plan for college?" I was like, I wasn't even thinking beyond that, to tell you the truth. I was like hoping that I would get a basketball scholarship, but never, really sat with it. And so she said, there's an opportunity to apply for a scholarship at UC Berkeley. I don't even remember if I knew much about Berkeley at the time. Like, it's the number one public school in the world. Um,
Wow.
but I was like, yeah, I'll apply. And she's like, I think you'll be a great candidate. And so it was called PCA. I don't even know what it stands for. They're going to get mad at me if they hear this, but PCA was, was an acronym. And their goal was to take kids from Southern California and like introduce them to the Bay, and particularly in Berkeley. And so I think we were partnering with maybe 20 Southern California high schools, and mine was one. I went to Monroe, and they selected one person per school, and then we kind of became a cohort of 20. And I got selected, so
Nice.
kind of
Congrats.
rigorous. Yeah, thank you. It was cool. It was like a couple of interviews, essays. I got selected, and so that summer they sent us all up to Berkeley. So I'm in my transition to 11th grade year. We spent about a month and a half in Berkeley, took some classes. They introduced us, and I became like obsessed. And I think that was really the goal. And then we did that again the following summer. I think we stayed a little bit longer. They had our parents up there and kind of just
Wow.
introduced. So I already felt acclimated with the school. The idea was if you got accepted, and there was no like bias, but if you did get accepted, you would get a full scholarship. And so I got accepted,
Mm.
got the full scholarship, and I really didn't look at any other schools. I said like that summer in 10th grade, I knew I was going to Berkeley, and I got excited about it. But shout out to PCA for introducing like kids who would have never had a chance or never even thought of Berkeley as an option, but making that a reality for me. So full ride. It was no
I
question I
love
was going to
that.
Berkeley.
I
Yeah.
love that. Wow, that's amazing. And I love, programs like that. You know what I mean? Like that's why, we do what we do. You know what I mean? Like I love people that, have that passion to say, I want to give exposure to, students that, might not have that exposure or that opportunity. And you got to go to Berkeley for 2 summers before you even, especially like first generation college students, like I think it's so important for them
It's so
to, see, for us to see. I was a first generation, college student, college graduate, but yeah, so no, that's awesome. Okay, so you transitioned from there to well, I know you had a, how was your experience? I mean, let me try to frame it in a way, because you went there for social welfare. So, what made you want to study that? Yeah,
So I'm gonna bring the story back to Miss Hawk and me just questioning systems. I went to Berkeley and I really didn't have an idea what I wanted to study. I was just exploring and having a good time. So I was taking classes in business school. I was taking classes in economics. I was taking classes in liberal arts. I was just so excited to be there and kind of exploring this new style of learning because, um, it wasn't traditional. And so I had no path. I was just taking classes for fun. I was like, this sounds amazing. Let me try it. And I think it wasn't until my junior year, my counselor was like, okay, so we're gonna have to buckle down. Like you have to, decide a major. And I'm like, why? This is exciting. And he's like, because you need to, if you want to graduate within 4 years, like you're gonna need to declare a major. And so I was like, fine. Super resistant to the idea though, because I'm like, I don't have no idea what I want to do in the future. So why am I gonna, box myself into a major? Um, Needless to say, he looked at all the classes I was taking and he was like, well, you pretty much have all the requirements for social welfare. I'm like, well, what exactly is social welfare? Because I didn't take social welfare classes, and comes down to just the study of people, right? And helping. And I was like, that's my nature. That's my
right.
nature.
Sounds like you.
And I did it. And I mean, it was just literally because I had, explored all these, different classes, and it was just like the easiest to kind of make sure that I finished in 4 years. And I felt like the study of people was something that I genuinely like had an interest in and desire in. And so it just made sense. And then he was always like, do you plan on going to grad school? I said, absolutely. He's like, that's when you nail down and like, at that point what you want to do in the future. So I said, okay. And yeah, he made me comfortable with my decision.
That's awesome. I love that. And I love that, it makes sense. Like seeing all the work that you did after, you graduated and, went to
Right.
grad school. Like, even what you're doing now with Village Athlete, like, it makes sense. Like it's not far removed that you had the social welfare experience. And then you go across the country to
Cross country.
NYU for, sports management and international. So how did you transition there. And did you take a break in between, or I don't think I saw
I
that.
did. I took a year off. I worked at a nonprofit, leading kind of their after school program. I think it was middle school kids. Um, that was always the plan. I was like, I'm going to work for a year, and then always wanted to live in New York, but didn't want to go without a plan. So grad school felt like the safest place to land. And so I got a little too attached to the kids I was working with, and so
Oh,
stayed about 2 years. I extended my gap year or whatever they call it to two, and again, New York was always the plan. And so I only applied to NYU, and they had a program called Gallatin, which was like so perfect for me. But you build your major, and I thought that was awesome. It's like, and so I was like, I know I wanted to work in sports, but I had a desire to do something like international, and so just working with the counselor, we were able to. Come up with this major, and it's just sports business and international development. But my thesis focused on the impact of sports on young girls in developing countries, and how we can use sports to create gender equality and equity. And so
wow.
they gave me the flexibility to kind of really stir my education, which I thought was awesome.
Wow, I love that. Okay, and then I mean, I love that because then that's how, you went to Ghana, and, that kind of, leads back to where you are now. But yeah, can you tell us that story of, like, how were those seeds sown, you know what I mean,
Yeah,
for you in Village Athlete?
yeah. So I remember being in a social entrepreneurship class at NYU, and there was only one other black person in the class. And so naturally, we're sitting next to each other. I come to find out she's from Ghana. And so I just kept asking
Oh,
about Ghana. Like, I had, again, no real desire. Like, I never thought about like traveling to Africa, and until I met her. And so she was just like, yeah, she had got to New York. She lived in Ghana her whole life, moved to New York for grad school as well. And she would tell me about how beautiful it was, the first country to be liberated in Africa. And I was like, you know what? That's where I'm gonna do my research, because I didn't really have a place yet. I knew the plan. And I was like, I'm gonna go to Ghana. So I remember going home one day, and I Googled orphanages in Ghana. Couple things popped up. I hit them all up. For, let's say, about 40 different orphanages. I emailed them. Hi, I'm Latoya. I'm a grad student looking to teach girls basketball. Heard back from like three. And one
okay.
of them, his pastor Godwin, he was running a church, a school, and an orphanage community. And he was like, we would love to have you. He's like, anytime you are welcome. And then he was like, sincerely, Pastor Godwin. And I was like, I was going by myself, and I do realize, I'm a woman, and I have never been to this continent, let alone, Ghana. So I was like, okay, I feel safe with him. He's a pastor. It could have been foolish of me, but of course my mom, like, what are you thinking? And I was like, I'm going to teach basketball in this orphanage. And so I just felt really comfortable with him. I said, yes, I want to come this summer. I gave him the whole plan. I was like, I want to teach girls how to play basketball, and I want to write about it. And so I plan on being there for 6 months. He was like, absolutely. So I flew out there that summer. It's the Volta region, which is about 4 hours south of Accra. And
Oh,
it's a rural village. I mean, we don't have any paved roads, no running water. I had to fetch my water. I stayed in a hut.
wow.
Um, Food consists of like rice with a little bit of sauce, and sometimes when it was like a good day, I had a little bit of fish. Um, and it was the best time of my life. When I say that,
Wow.
I saw the stars more than I've ever seen any stars in my life. Like, when
Mm.
it's dark, life is just really, really slow there, and people really, really care about each other. So I remember, like, when I first got there, people were asking me, "Hey, how are you?" I'm like, "I'm good. I'm good. How are you?" Typical greeting, and they're like, what do you mean you're good? Why are you so good? Like, they really wanted to
Wow.
know about, how's your mother? How's your family? Are they healthy? Are they strong? Da-da-da. And I'm just like, so I had to learn kind of to slow down my pace and then just enjoy being present, right? So needless to say, I get there, there's no basketball court, right? Not even like an hour away. Okay, so no basketball court. Girls are not even allowed. This was in 2010, 2010 or 11. Girls are not even allowed to be spectators of sport, like, let alone play, right?
Oh,
And
wow.
this would have been nice to know like before I arrived, because I gave you the whole like mission, right? And so I said, you know what, that's okay. We're gonna build a court, because what they did have is a lot of land, right? So I showed them what a basketball court looks like. I was like, I think we could build this, and they were like, absolutely. So that's what we did. It took about 2 months. I had maybe like $500 on me, and we bought some cement. We mixed it with rock and water. We laid the foundation. We used a tree trunk as the pole. Um,
Wow.
wood randomly, built the backboard. I had brought a net, and then we found some metal rod. We got it and molded it into a circle. It was amazing, right? I went to go buy paint, which was like 2 hours in town. I come home, I come back, and they've already like started drawing out the lines for the basketball court, and 3-point line was kind of connected to the free throw. But I was like, you know what, this is good. You guys are owning this, right? So it was awesome. And I should say, by like while we're like building out this court, I'm like convincing the men and the elders of every day, hey, after school, hey, let your daughters play with me, please. I just want to teach them basketball. And they're like, no, 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 I'm sorry, this is not their thing. And I'm like, so I just was relentless every day. I think they just got sick of me, and they were like, you know what? Go for it. And so their main thing was like they didn't want the boys and the girls touching, because it's a contact sport. I said, not a problem. I'm going to teach the girls certain days, boys other days. And the girls just picked it up instantly, because they didn't know sport, right? Like the boys were so used to playing soccer, trying to get them to catch the ball was like such a hard habit for them to break. So they kept running away from the ball, and I'm like, yo, you can catch this one. It was amazing just to see the difference in like the learning process, right? And the girls, like I said, they picked it up so quickly and immediately, and I made them all sit in the front of the classroom. So I was like monitoring them in class, and you can just see their confidence grow. Like, so,
Mm.
I mean, they found their voice, and it didn't take a lot of time. I remember like them trying to get them to say coach was like the funniest thing. They head down, coach, coach, coach. But after a couple weeks, like 2 to 3 weeks, they're shouting my coach across the courtyard, you know? And so um, I knew then. I was like, yeah, I know. The smiles on their faces is just sticks with me to this day, and that's what keeps me going. But my last week there, I was like, okay, it's time to go. You know what? Fuck it. I made the girls play against the guys. I said, you guys can be athletes, okay? Because I knew that's what they didn't want. I didn't care. I was like, I'm out of here. I need to show you guys the work that they've been putting in. And so I invited the whole village out. The chief came and everyone, and we had a whole ceremony. And the girls played against the guys. And when I tell you, the girls kicked their ass. Okay.
Wow.
And
I know you were sitting there
I
like, yeah.
couldn't write a better script. I mean, I'm telling you, it could have went a lot different if they didn't win, but they won. And the joy in their faces, in their parents' faces, and the dad's faces, it's like it was just like, man, this is it, you know. So
Wow.
um, it was amazing. Anyway, and I should preface this by saying before I went to Ghana, I had cold called the Knicks. Hey, do you guys have any equipment? You know,
Oh,
basketball.
before you went.
Before I went, and it was a cold call, and they were like, please, yes, come get this stuff. And so they gave me a bunch of jerseys, headbands. And so when I got back to New York a few months later, I was just so thankful, like that they were, you know, so generous with the items. And so I did a whole deck presentation. And I was like, I just wanted to say thank you. Like, and I wanted to show them these kids in this rural village wearing.
Oh no. Oh my gosh. Now that cut me trying to get hey. Where are you? Oh. Oh. Okay, I'm still on IG Live because we'll be back. We'll be back. We'll be back. We'll be back. We're coming back. We're coming back. Just give me 3.5 seconds, y'all. We are coming back. I promise you we are. We got about 5 more minutes. We're gonna wrap it up, but I don't want to end it like that, man. It was a beautiful conversation. This is oh boy. Ecam, count your days. Ecam, count your days. I promise you, bro. Man, they trying to play me. Alright, 1:31. Because I would add you to IG, but the problem is that I can't from the computer. And this better work. Why is it on hold? Come on. Oh my gosh. All right, man. Thank you so much, Latoya, for coming through. We are getting this together and we will be back soon, be back shortly. I love it though. You hear that? That story was amazing. I mean, being able to go to Ghana and I have pro, guys. I have pro now. So I already have it. I don't have standard. I have pro, guys. It's not that I don't pay for this program. I pay for this program. And now, okay, Latoya, try to call me again. Try to call me again. They might make me end it, but if they don't, then we're good. Okay, but let's see. I have pro. Y'all are making me upset. All right, they're gonna make me. Okay, they're gonna. I know I don't. I already have it. Okay. All right, we have to start a new live, but thank you so much for everybody that joined this live. We're starting new, same link, same bat time, same bat place. Just 5 quick minutes, all right? Because they're not letting me do it on this one. Okay, so boom. I'm gonna log out of this and log in again. Ugh. Oh wait. Oh no. Yeah, see they. Just gonna finish that. Let's see. Ugh. Hold on, I gotta quit this whole app and then I'm gonna come back. Ecam. Dang, I know she got a meeting. I do have pro. For some reason, it is still not. Sorry. I don't know why it's not. I'm not on a trial anymore. Hold on. Sorry, Latoya. Ugh. Hold on, I'm gonna have to shut down this whole computer. Oh, it's not even letting me. Hello. Hey, what's up, girl? Dang, man. They really they really played my whole entire life. Okay, so I'm trying to even okay, boom, finish. End broadcast. Yeah. Okay. So
You're like, I am on pro because I was on live too. I saw you.
yes, it's like it goes for so basically I guess you can do it by your finish. I guess you can do it by yourself, but I know you have a call. Dang, I'm trying to just close it and I want to,
We
hold on.
got to like it starts at 11, but they got the intros and shit. I don't like 11:10. I'm good.
Okay, let me
No
try.
later than 11:15 though. I think that would be pushing it.
Okay.
Right. Allow. Okay, I'm back in.
Okay, let's see. Let's see if it let me answer. No, it's still telling me to get pro. I got pro Negroes. Okay, yeah, log out because they playing me. They playing me.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, this thing, technology, boy, I tell you. I didn't think. I know that they said I had like, and they said I had 37 minutes. Maybe I did. Maybe I did go over the.
Oh, so, that was 37 minutes that we did.
Oh yeah, so maybe that's why. Dang it! Why did I think? So finish.
Are you able to do like to cut it so that it's not live?
Yeah. I could.
Okay,
Well,
so we can continue it.
yeah, I can. I mean, once it gives me the raw footage.
Okay.
So it's all being saved also to my computer. So.
Oh, well, that's good. The live messed up, but we can continue it and just like piece it together.
Yeah, I'm going to just edit both pieces together. Got to be more careful, but child,
You know what would be
okay.
cool if you could for me? Like,
Hmm.
I mean, we didn't get to the part where it's like, village athlete, go online, but like a little couple snippets, 10 seconds to post, not the full thing, just like, 15-second snippets of the good stuff.
Oh yeah. Send it to you. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely. Yep, I
Okay,
love
cool.
doing those clips. I love doing those clips. Yeah. Cause you got the. I mean, dang, the story is so great. It's like this is village. This is like
There was people watching because someone else just me like, that they didn't. I guess I don't talk about it enough. I need to.
Yeah.
People on and texted me. They said I looked really excited.
That's so funny. That's so cool.
So you can feel your energy and the joy in
Oh,
your
yeah,
voice.
it was going so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know, man. Shoot. Okay. All
It's
right.
all
So
good.
bet. So let me see. Okay. How can we start a new? This is what I get to for yeah using new things. But I used this the last time I did an interview, and it was fine. Get Ecamm and live session. I already ended that. I have Ecamm Live Pro. I don't know why y'all don't. Why y'all not start new? Yeah. Okay. So we just got to start new recording if they let me. The problem is it's like not like letting me. It's like something weird where it's not even like letting me start a new
So when
broadcast.
I ring you, it doesn't. Oh, it's probably because I'm on that same link. You can. Oh, I don't know. I've never done this before. This is.
Ugh.
I heard I just ring you, ping you.
Yeah, it's ringing, but when I try to answer it, it says get pro. But it's like I have pro. I have pro. And then even when I try to click on like I just went to the website, but when I click on what they sent me, my goodness. Okay, so what I can do is dang, I'm like I just got to do it via Zoom cuz it's like if y'all are not going to yeah, I'm going to try to send you a new link. So don't
Okay, yeah.
use that one.
Okay,
Oh
that'll
my
work.
gosh. I don't like this app no more. This is gonna have to be the
You
last
want me to
time.
just join from the Google link you sent for the
For the invite.
calendar invite? Yeah.
And then but the only thing is I can't record on Google. I would have to get the pro Google to record that.
Oh, yeah. Okay, no, then Zoom it has to be.
Where the heck? I'm just trying to get a new. Oh my gosh. Ecamm Live. Get Ecamm Live. View post preview mode. It's not even letting me quit. That's oh, you know what? I gotta force quit.